Darren stood at the doorway, watching the bright light in the sky move slowly, almost like an eye searching the land. The ranch around him stayed quiet, but his chest felt heavy. He turned toward Lyra, who stood near the window with worry written all over her face. Her markings glowed faintly again, like a warning signal she could not control. Darren stepped closer. "Lyra, tell me what you know. Who are they? Why are they looking for you?" Lyra held her arms tightly and breathed slowly, trying to calm herself. "My people. They are not many," she said in a soft voice. "Long ago, something terrible happened in our region. Many were lost. I was separated from my family during the chaos. I don't know what happened to them. I was very young. Someone must have sent search teams. But the wrong people found me first, and then I ended up working at the station." Darren listened carefully. Her words carried pain, but also truth. She looked to the sky again. "If this ship is from my people, they will want to take me back. But I don't know if I am ready. I don't know if I will be safe with them." Darren knelt so he could meet her eyes. "Lyra, whatever happens, the choice is yours. No one will force you to go anywhere, and I won't let anything harm you. This is your home too." Her eyes softened, but fear still lingered in them. "What if they are not kind?" she whispered. "What if they want to use me?" Darren placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Then they will have to get through me first." Lyra looked at him with deep trust, the kind of trust she had never given anyone before. The light in the sky moved farther away, continuing its search pattern, but Lyra stayed close to Darren, as if his presence kept her steady. The next morning, everything on the ranch felt different. The animals were restless, as if they sensed something approaching. Lyra walked among them, calming them with her soft touch. But even she could feel the tension in the air. Darren watched her and felt the same quiet worry. Around noon, the sky darkened as a large, elegant alien ship descended slowly in the valley near the ranch. The ground shook lightly, and the air filled with a humming sound. Darren stood near the gate, his posture steady, protecting Lyra, who stayed slightly behind him. When the ship's doors opened, a group of tall, graceful aliens stepped out. Their skin carried glowing markings similar to Lyra's, but more complex. They looked calm, peaceful, and carried no weapons. The leader stepped forward, wearing a thin ceremonial band across his chest. He spoke in a soft but firm voice. "We come in peace. We seek Lyra of the empathic lineage." Lyra stepped forward slowly, her heart pounding. "I am Lyra," she said. Her voice was tiny but steady. The leader lowered his head respectfully. "We have searched for many cycles. You were believed lost. We are relieved to find you safe." Darren watched their expressions closely. They did not seem cruel or harsh. In fact, their eyes held genuine relief. But he still stayed near Lyra, making sure she felt secure. Another alien from the group stepped forward, a woman with warm, kind eyes. "Lyra, your clan has been trying to recover from the loss of your people. You carry an ability that is rare and precious. You are important to us." Lyra shifted nervously. "I don't know if I want to return," she said honestly. "I don't even know if I remember the ways of my people. And here, I feel safe." The leader looked at Darren. "Are you the human who protected her?" Darren nodded once. "She wasn't safe where she was. I only did what anyone decent should do." The leader studied him for a long moment, then gave a small, respectful nod. "Your actions speak well of your species." Lyra looked between the aliens and Darren, torn between two worlds. The alien woman stepped closer and spoke softly. "You do not have to come with us if you do not wish to. Our clan does not believe in force. We only hope to welcome you back and offer you the support of your people." Her gentle tone eased some of Lyra's fear, but not all of it. She looked at Darren again, as if seeking guidance. Darren kept his voice calm. "Lyra, whatever you choose is your decision. I won't decide for you. But know this ranch is your home as long as you want it to be." The aliens listened carefully. The leader then said, "There is something more you should understand. Your connection to this human is not accidental." Lyra blinked in confusion. "What do you mean?" The aliens exchanged glances. The woman stepped forward and held a small glowing orb in her hand. "May we scan your connection?" she asked politely. Darren frowned. "What connection?" "Emotional resonance," she explained. "Our people can sense bonds formed from trust and protection." Lyra nodded slowly. Darren hesitated, but gave a small nod too. The woman held the orb close to Lyra and then to Darren. The orb reacted immediately, glowing brighter with each pass. She studied it with fascination. "This is rare," she said softly. "Very rare. The bond between you two is strong and compatible." Darren looked confused. "What does that mean?" The leader answered gently. "Our people form a special link with those who protect us with sincerity. It is called a life bond. It is not romantic or forced. It is a deep emotional connection that allows both lives to strengthen each other." Lyra felt her breath catch. "A life bond?" The woman nodded. "You already share the beginning of one. It explains why your markings respond around him. His presence calms your abilities, and your abilities balance his inner emptiness." Darren felt stunned. Inner emptiness. The woman spoke with compassion. "Humans do not speak of it, but we can sense your quiet loneliness. The bond you formed with Lyra is healing both of you." Lyra looked at Darren with wide, emotional eyes. "That's why I feel safe with you," she whispered. Darren felt something warm settle inside him. "And that's why the ranch feels whole again," he said softly. The leader stepped back respectfully. "Lyra, your path does not have to be either or. You can stay with this human and still reconnect with your clan. You can choose both." Lyra took a deep breath. The weight she had carried for so long suddenly felt lighter. She looked at the aliens, then at Darren, and finally made her decision. "I want to stay here," she said firmly. "This ranch is my home. Darren saved me, and he is my family now. But I also want to know my people. I want to learn where I come from." The alien leader smiled warmly. "Then that will be your path." The aliens did not take her away. Instead, they gave her a communication device so she could stay connected with them and learn their culture. They also activated a protective beacon near the ranch, ensuring no harmful groups could approach without being detected. Before leaving, the alien woman knelt beside Lyra. "You are strong," she said. "Your heart guided you well. Cherish the bond you share with this human. It will shape your future." Lyra hugged her gently, then stepped back as the aliens boarded their ship. The ship rose gracefully into the sky, leaving behind a soft glow that faded slowly. The ranch grew quiet again. Lyra turned to Darren. "Do you really want me to stay?" she asked softly. Darren smiled, this time without hesitation. "Lyra, the moment you came here, this place changed. The animals changed. I changed. I want you here not because you owe me anything, but because you belong here." Lyra felt her markings warm gently. She stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him. It was not a dramatic hug. It was soft, honest, full of trust. Darren returned the gesture carefully, knowing how much it meant to her. From that day on, the ranch felt different. Lyra woke every morning with energy, eager to help the animals. Darren taught her everything he knew about the ranch. She learned fast, and her abilities made her a natural caretaker. Together, they restored old parts of the land, repaired fences, and welcomed new creatures. The ranch became a peaceful place where human and alien life blended beautifully. At night, they often sat under the stars, talking about simple things. Lyra shared memories she had buried for years. Darren shared the quiet hopes he once thought were impossible. Their bond grew stronger, not because of magic or destiny, but because they chose to care for each other. Weeks passed, and the communication device lit up often with friendly greetings from her clan. Lyra learned more about her heritage, but she never once doubted her home. She stayed on the ranch every day. By her own choice, Darren sometimes caught himself smiling for no reason, realizing the ranch no longer felt empty and his life no longer felt quiet in a painful way. Lyra filled the space with warmth, sincerity, new strength. She was not his daughter by blood, but their bond was deep, unbreakable, and real. And for Darren, that was more than enough. For Lyra, the man who rescued her from a life of fear, had become the safest place she had ever known. She found a home, a family, a future she never thought possible. What happened next truly changed everything for both of them. Darren Holt lived alone on a quiet planet called Griefall, a place where the sky stayed wide and open and the wind always carried the smell of warm soil. His ranch stood on the edge of a long valley, surrounded by rolling hills and strange blue leaf trees that shook softly whenever a breeze passed. Every morning, Darren woke before sunrise, fed the alien animals he cared for, checked the fences, repaired tools, and made sure everything ran properly. It was a simple life, but it kept him grounded. It kept him moving. But there was one thing that followed him everywhere, like a shadow. Darren wanted a family for years, yet his condition made it impossible. Doctors had confirmed it long ago. No matter how strong he was, no matter how much hope he carried, he would never have children. For a long time he pretended he accepted it. But sometimes, at night, when the ranch went quiet and the animals slept, he felt the weight of it pressing on his chest. He cared for every living creature around him, yet he could not care for one of his own. Still, he tried to live with peace. He worked hard, treated everyone kindly, and never complained. People in the nearby trade town respected him. They said he had a steady heart and calm eyes. They said he carried loneliness like a silent friend. And Darren never disagreed. One day, riding his old speeder toward town to buy basic supplies, he noticed something strange. The station area was busy, as usual. Traders were yelling to customers, machines hummed loudly, and alien creatures called out to each other from their cages. But in the middle of the noise, Darren's attention caught on a small figure moving heavy containers to one side. She was a young girl, maybe 13 or 14, definitely not human. Her skin carried soft markings like faint constellations. Her hair was tied back tightly as if someone wanted it out of the way so she could work faster. Her shoulders looked tense, and her movements were slow, almost exhausted. Darren watched for a moment. The girl struggled to lift a container that was obviously too heavy for her. When she tried again, the container slipped from her grip and hit the floor with a loud thud. The station owner shouted something sharp at her. She lowered her head quickly and went to pick it up again, her hands shaking. Darren felt something twist inside him. It wasn't anger exactly. It was something protective, something heavy and real. He approached the owner calmly. "Is the girl all right?" he asked. The man shrugged. "She's fine. She works slow sometimes, but she's learning." Darren's eyes shifted to the girl again. She didn't look fine at all. Her face looked tired, and her eyes held a quiet fear. When she noticed him watching, she froze for a second, then quickly lowered her gaze. Darren spoke again. "How long has she been working here?" "A while," the owner replied. "Technically, she owes labor for her stay. Found her after some migration problem. Nobody claimed her." Darren didn't like the way he said that. He could already see that whatever arrangement existed was not healthy. The girl wasn't treated as a worker. She was treated as something forgotten, something left behind. He walked closer to her. "Hey," he said softly, not wanting to scare her. "What's your name?" She hesitated. Her voice was quiet, almost whispering. "Lyra." "Lyra," he repeated. "Are you okay?" She gave a small nod. But Darren had worked with animals his whole life. He knew when a creature was scared, tense, or unsure. And this girl was all three. Darren straightened and looked at the owner. What would it take to end her labor contract? The man lifted an eyebrow. "You want her? Why?" Darren didn't answer that question directly. Instead, he kept his voice firm. "How much?" The owner scratched his chin, clearly surprised but also calculating. After naming an amount, Darren realized it was too high for such a simple contract, but he didn't argue. The important thing was the girl. She shouldn't be here, carrying heavy equipment and being shouted at. She deserves safety, peace, and a chance to live normally. Darren paid. The owner handed him the contract papers and stepped back with a shrug. "She's yours now. Just keep her busy." Darren didn't like the phrasing, but he ignored it. He walked to Lyra and said gently, "You're free from this place now." You'll come with me. You'll be safe, and you won't have to work like this again." Lyra stared at him with wide eyes. She looked shocked, unsure, like she didn't believe what she heard. "Why? Why would you take me?" "Because no one should be treated like that," he said. "And because I want to help. That's all." For a moment she didn't move. Then she slowly stepped toward him. Her hands trembled slightly as if she wasn't sure if this was real. When she finally followed him toward the speeder, Darren could feel her relief even as she tried to hide it. The ride back to the ranch was long and quiet. Lyra kept her arms wrapped around herself, staring at the passing hills and drifting blue trees. She seemed confused, almost overwhelmed. When they arrived, she stepped off the speeder slowly, looking around as if she had entered another world. The ranch stretched wide in front of her. The animals moved calmly in their fenced areas. The wind carried a peaceful scent. Everything here was open and calm. "This is your home now," Darren said kindly. "You don't have to work hard. Just rest for today. Eat something. And if you want to help later, you can choose what you like." Lyra nodded again. She followed him inside the house, took a seat, and accepted the warm meal he prepared for her. As she ate, Darren noticed how she held the spoon carefully, like she was not used to eating without hurry. He didn't ask about her past yet. He didn't want to push her. She needed time to feel safe. The next morning, Lyra woke early and stepped outside quietly. Darren was already feeding the ranch animals. She stood at the doorway for a while, watching. When Darren noticed her, he gave a warm smile. "Good morning. You slept well, I hope," she said softly. "You want to see the ranch?" he asked. Lyra nodded. She followed him as he showed her the different animals' soft-furred grazers. Tall creatures with long legs and gentle beasts that resembled large blue oxen. Lyra observed them with wide, curious eyes. Then something unexpected happened. A large creature, known to be rough-tempered and difficult to approach, came close to her. Darren almost warned her, but before he could say anything, the creature lowered its head. Lyra lifted her hand gently and touched its nose. The creature relaxed, shutting its eyes as if it enjoyed the contact. Darren stared. "He never lets anyone near him," he said in surprise. Lyra looked down at her glowing markings, the ones faintly shining along her forearms. "Animals feel things," she said quietly. "I can feel them too. I don't know how, but they listen to me." Darren was amazed. It was not just a small talent. It was something rare, something powerful. He realized that Lyra wasn't an ordinary girl. Her gentle nature and her connection with animals held something special. Over the next few days, Lyra slowly grew comfortable on the ranch. She began helping with feeding and learned how to repair small tools. She still stayed quiet, but her eyes softened, and sometimes she even smiled. Darren noticed how calm she made the animals. Even the most restless ones behaved around her. Darren found himself smiling too. Not because she worked well, but because the ranch suddenly felt warmer. It didn't feel so empty anymore. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, coloring the sky with orange and deep purple, Lyra sat outside watching the animals rest. Darren joined her with 2 cups of warm, herbal tea. She accepted hers carefully. "You don't have to be afraid anymore," Darren said gently. "This place is safe." Lyra looked down. "I never had a real home," she whispered. "I don't remember my family well. Things happened fast. One moment I was with them, then everything changed. After that, I kept moving from place to place. When I reached the station, they kept me there." Darren listened without interrupting. "I thought, maybe this is how life is. Maybe I don't get anything else," she continued softly. "But then you came." "You deserve better," Darren said. "Everyone does." Lyra held her cup tightly. "Why did you help me? You don't even know me." Darren looked at the sky before answering. "Because I know what it feels like to lose something important," he said. "And because helping someone gives life meaning," Lyra studied his face quietly. "You are kind," she said. Darren smiled faintly. "I try to be." As they sat together, the night wind brushed past them, carrying the soft rustle of the leaves. Darren felt something shift inside him, something he hadn't felt in years. Not pain, not loneliness. Something like hope, but that peaceful moment didn't last long. Late that night, while Darren was closing the barn doors, he noticed something strange in the sky. A distant light moved slowly, scanning the land below. It wasn't a star or a small ship. It was something larger, more purposeful. A search pattern. He felt a chill run through him. Inside the house, Lyra also saw the light from the window. Her entire body stiffened. The faint markings on her skin glowed brighter for a moment, reacting to her fear. She whispered something in her own language, something filled with worry. Darren stepped inside quickly. "Lyra, what's wrong?" She pointed to the sky. Her hands trembled. "They're looking for someone," she said in a quiet, scared voice. "And I think they're looking for me." Darren felt the weight of her words settle heavily between them. Everything was about to change.